Are coming off a tough loss to San Diego State. Really proud of the way the guys fought and played. After going back and watching the film, it comes down to a couple plays here and there. So again, that was it was good to see the fight in our guys. Getting down, being in a hole, and coming back, executing well at the end of the game, and really proud of them for that. And they had a good practice last night and film session. So here we are on to Colorado State, team they've won 2 games in a row, playing better football as of late, and they've been in a lot of tight ball games down the stretch. So I think they're comfortable now with their quarterback. Obviously, they had a change with the running back spot, and they were able to run the ball against Fresno State last week. So I'm excited about this challenge and opportunity, and I think it's important that we go out and establish that run game. This last game, we did a really good job of just sticking to it, and then eventually, as the game went on, we were able to get some of those hard yards. But I think we're going to have to run the ball earlier in this game, be a little bit more productive doing it. And then defensively, we got to be as stout as we were last week against the run. We do that again, we got a great shot.
On Saturday night, did you also do anything different strategically to kind of open things up for the running game, or is it just where you say just kind of hanging with it?
Again, it's kind of just hanging with it. I mean, the outside run was there a little bit more than the inside zone stuff. Some of our stretch stuff was what we kind of got them on. But we just had to keep doing it. I mean, they're a tough team, and some of those 3 yards and 4 yards started turning into 5s and 6s, and then as the game went on, we broke off a big one, had a couple 10-yard runs, and I mean, San Diego State, they're as good as it comes when it comes to stopping the run. So again, it's just one of those deals you got to commit to it and stick to it.
And Chuck, did you see things opening up a little bit more for you in that second half?
Yeah, realized the inside game wasn't really working at first, but we stayed to it, and then we realized the outside zone was there. So I just trusted my key reads and followed the lineman. When I seen a hole, I took advantage of it, got vertical real fast, and got what I got. And then on the big run, I just really stretched it real hard, and then I cut up, and then I cut back, and just followed my blockers, and then we ended up popping that big one off, and then it just started opening up towards the end of the game, and we really did a good job of just trusting each other and just staying on our key reads and just following everything and just being very productive with the plays we were given. So yeah, we just executed the plays basically.
And how much did that help Kenyon as far as once they had to respect the run game, as far as make things a little bit easier for him?
It did. Early on, some of those inside pressure, some of those slants, we weren't picking them up. You saw him get sacked a couple times and some knockdowns early. Again, that's a common theme with San Diego State and the teams that they play. You see that quite a bit in the game. So offensive line just had to settle down and pick some of that stuff up. But yeah, anytime you can run the football, it makes the defense play honest. So I think us throwing on early downs was important. We did that better in the second half than we did the first. Can't be so predictable at times. But when they're in those 50-50 downs, it's a lot tougher on the defense, and I think that helped lead towards some of those runs.
What did you think after rewatching it of Kenyon's play in that game?
He did some really good things. I mean, again, that it's a high-stress defense. There were some mistakes, no doubt, but you saw that from both quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks, made some mistakes, missed some open opportunities. But the thing that I like the most about him is, when the game was on the line, there was that snap that, it's probably 50% on the center, 50% on the quarterback. It was catchable, but it came in hot and a little high, right? So for him to be able to settle down, complete that ball to Grimes, on that 4th and long, to make some of those other plays, I thought it was good. So he's a young quarterback. He's progressing every week. I think there's things you see each week that you got to do a better job of coaching up. You also see some things that show exponential growth.
Along those lines, it's the first time I think for you guys all year you've been in a fourth quarter situation that was tight, one possession game. Obviously the first time for Kenyon. What do you think of the way he just managed a close game in terms of just little things, getting team in and out of the huddle, doing all that stuff with the clock and everything being a factor?
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job with that. That part was done really well. We had the timeouts in our back pocket. We had the one timeout in our back pocket, and not to have to use it early on was a really good thing. So he did a good job. Incomplete ball, get him in the huddle. If it's not, we're not going to huddle. He did a good job of managing that. And then again, you go back to the critical mistake. At the beginning of that possession. So now you're behind the 8 ball. It had been really easy to fold the tent, and he did, man. On that 4th down, he threw a perfect ball right on the money.
Was there consideration to take that timeout on 4th and 24?
No, there wasn't, because if you convert it, you're going to need. I mean, to me, it was kind of a throwaway timeout. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, at that point, to me, you're going to have a hell of a play to make it anyway, right? And if you do make it, you're going to need that timeout for a field goal down the stretch.
Is Armani back at 100% yet?
He's cleared. He's cleared to go. So my word we got yesterday is that he's feeling good, feeling 100%. So we'll see when we get on the field tomorrow.
Is the game plan for Kenyon to be the starter against?
It is right now. Yep. Yep.
Could Armani get a medical?
I don't believe so. He's cleared and he's already redshirted.
Because you have to prove you couldn't play, right?
Yeah, we haven't even gone down that path. I mean, there's no reason to medical. We've still got a bunch of games left, and he's healthy to play.
With the way Kenyon's playing, would you want to, if Armani's healthy, would you want to try to maybe get him in for a change of pace, or if Kenyon's playing well, do you want to kind of stick with him?
Yeah, those are tough decisions. Obviously, those are two wonderful guys, hard-working guys. They both bring a completely different element to the game. We've talked to the staff, even going into the last game, if he had been a little bit, if he'd shown a little bit more, I guess more health there in practice, if he had more quick twitch, we talked about using him, in certain situations. This week, we're gonna have to sit down with him, tonight and talk to him a little bit how he's feeling, where he's at, head-wise, and then as a coaching staff, we're gonna sit down and talk about, what gives us the best opportunity to win the game, and is Armani part of that equation? So, again, if something were to happen, he goes in, we know we can win with Armani. He's won a lot of games since he's been here. Obviously, health has been the biggest thing that's gotten in his way, so it seems like we've had to change course quite a bit over the last bunch of years. But again, right now, the way Kenyon's throwing the ball and distributing it to different receivers, we feel like they give us the best opportunity.
So Armani right now the number 2, right?
Yes.
And so when do you think you might come to a final decision if he plays?
Well, the thing is, so again, he's cleared. We haven't seen him practice yet without having a little bit of a hitch in his giddy up. So again, even as of last Friday, there's still some discomfort. So, they say he's cleared. He says he feels good. I want to see it. I want to see him go out there. I want to see him tuck it and run a little bit. I want to see him be able to, drop back, throw the ball without any grimace at all. I want to see him, feel comfortable, because when he's comfortable, he's a big time threat. But when he's not, obviously, he gets in his way.
You had a guy like Aaron Lewis on Saturday seemed to turn the corner. It took a while for the juvenile kids for things to click. I know Vic with the concussion, he was out or whatnot. How important is a guy like Lewis to the secondary, which has been really giving up chunk yards all year?
Well, the secondary, you think about it too. We've got you got Perry out for the year coming into the season, with an injury. You got Phillip Hill out for the year, game 2 with an injury. You got Drew Techman out for the year, injury wise. I can go on and on. There's more than that too. You got Hams out. He went out, I think, the first series on on special teams this last game. You got Kyle Moses, who's out again, and season-ending surgery. I think there's 8 guys in the secondary out right now. So we're thin. We are really, really thin. So it's really important for anybody that plays in the back end to do a good job and be productive, because there's not many guys left, right? Plummer's got to step up. He's got to play the ball a little bit better. He showed some savviness and some courage later in the game. Early on, he just looked a little. Wasn't trusting himself, I'll just put it that way, so he's got to play with a little bit more savviness. But it was great to have him come on in and play well and be productive. Colorado State's going to throw the ball all over the place. They got a good quarterback. They've got some tall, long, lanky receivers. We've done good stopping the run. We're going to have to continue to do that. The challenge is going to be in the back end and us playing balls in flight. We can't, you just can't be in guys' hip pockets. You got to turn around. You got to play the ball. We got to create some turnovers, and we're going to have to be savvy. And there's not a lot of guys back there, so whoever's back there, you have to step up. Gibbs, I thought, did a really good job too of stepping up and playing well, and he's going to have to do that again.
You feel like Javen a little bit more in the safety spot, haven't you?
Well, we did 1 week and we moved him back to the backer spot. So I think Javen, he can speak to that, but he looks more comfortable. He's more disruptive. The biggest thing about Javen is Javen changes games. He goes in, he makes disruptive plays. It's a lot easier for him to do that being in the box than it is outside.
So if with its concerns of secondary, you still prefer him at linebacker? Right?
Yeah. Yeah, after the Wyoming game, we messed with it a little bit. We just it took productivity out of the box, and we don't want to have that.
I guess you like being in that linebacker spot, huh?
Yeah, like Coach Hunter said, I feel like I can be more disruptive in the box. So me being safety, I'm comfortable with playing everywhere on the field, but like being in that box is just basically, instead of them having a gas run like they get to me in the secondary, I can just already be in the box and stop the run from like maybe a 2-yard gain.
Tony, have you talked to Barney over the last few days?
Just through text. The first couple texts, his wife was answering them, and now we're doing it through text, but he's doing good. I know that, obviously the heart took and everything, he's feeling better, he's communicating. The biggest thing is, obviously this next 6 months, does the body take it and reject it? How do those go? I think it's going to be, you guys all know him, he's a tough old coot, so if anybody can get through it, it's him. He's as tough as they come, so. Look forward to seeing him. I can't wait till he's stabilized and he's able to travel, and it'll be good to be able to sit down with him and talk some ball.
What do you think of the Rams defense?
They're good. They've got a lot of athletes out there, and they have some length. They've given up some points. They've given up some, yardage. Last week they looked good. It was kind of a flip deal. Fresno had a lot of missed assignments and things like that, kind of like we did the week before, But I think Colorado State's a good defense. I mean, when you look at the games and you watch them, because I sit down as a head coach and I watch every snap, offense, defense, special teams, and I like to watch them in chronological order, And they're always in games. I mean, they play well early. They do a good job of putting points on the board. They do create some, messes with their defense, and it's one of those deals you got to kind of weather their storms. So if we're gonna win this game, we're gonna have to run the football, and we're gonna have to do a good job of protecting Kenyon, and we're gonna have to continue to make explosive plays in the pass game. We missed some last week. We had some opportunities, especially at the end of the game. You look at that 1st and 10 with the ball, and I believe the 24 going in. We had a wide open Randall Grimes. I mean, wide open, and we missed him. He ran the route a little bit deep. I thought Kenny got a little punchy and threw the ball a little early. Those are the type of things that we can't afford to do to win this game.
Chuck, how quick does it take for you to get acclimated to a game, to get warm, to get a rhythm? And then we went up to Colorado. It's going to be a little brisk. So how quick do you think it's going to take you to get adjusted with the air and the weather?
For me, it's that first hit. Like, once I get that first hit, I'm ready to go, basically. And I just got to see how the defense is coming. If they're thumping, then I got to thump back. If they just trying to dive at me, I got to be aware, pick my knees up, and, just be myself. I don't let the game, come to me. I come to the game, basically, because I'm ready to go every play and everything. So, at the end of the game, towards, the 4th quarter, I was like, I got to run harder. That's it. That's simple as that. I just got to run harder. The holes are there. I just got to run harder. And I was telling myself, I just got to run harder, just run harder. So if I come with that mentality in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we can do a lot of big things.
Anything else? Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.